Hi there, and welcome to this video. My name is Stephanie Harnett, and I'm doing a three-part series on AI coding for Rise and Storyline. And I'm doing that because I put out the Rise code library a couple months ago with just a few code snippets in there. There's been a lot of people asking how I'm doing this, and so I thought I'd do a series to teach you exactly how I'm doing this. We're up to 33 code snippets now, and it's all free. So all you have to do is just go in there, copy the code, and then paste that into your Rise course and customize it to your liking. It's, again, all free. They're fully responsive and they're fully accessible now as well. So I encourage you to check that out if you haven't done so. It also has a suggestion box in there, and you'll see that there's ideas from other people, and some ideas are being upvoted. The ones that trickle up to the top are the ones I'm paying attention to, and if it's possible for me to do it, I'll do it, and I'll share that code out with the rest of you. And this series is based on the code that's in that library. And I wanted you to know that I'm going to be using my digital twin and clone voice in this tutorial series. Not this video. I wanted you to see what I actually look like and how I behave in real life. But my digital twin helps me produce these things faster. Plus, it never gets tired. It looks pretty good. It was shot on a good hair day. All those things. No matter what the digital twin is saying, it's because I've told it to say that. It's my writing, my content, my ideas, my knowledge and experience. I've been doing this for 20 or so years, and I've been largely using Articulate products to get my work done. So on that note, I'm also an Articulate MVP or superhero, and I'm a beta team member as well, testing their beta products. So you can check me out at the Articulate community site. You can also take a look at my portfolio site, which I built in Rise. It shows you what I'm currently working on and examples of what I've done in past. And of course, you can check out the Art of Digital Learning. That's my teaching and sharing site. Some of you may have found this video there because that's where my blog lives as well. So if you want to be updated on anything that I'm doing, like a new video like this, then just subscribe over there and you'll get an email when something new comes out. So have fun with this series, and I look forward to your comments. Hey, I'm Stephanie, and as mentioned, this is my digital twin using my cloned voice. I entered the Articulate Rise code Block-a-Thon and submitted a complete Rise lesson that focuses on AI audio. I'll show how I added AI audio to standard Rise blocks, demonstrate how the chatbot works, and show some of what's possible when you go directly into ElevenLabs. The Block-a-Thon submission is linked below if you'd like to look at that lesson before you dive in. Let's get into it. Here's the lesson. Let me scroll through it so you can see what we're working with before we get into how it was built. Everything you hear is the same voice, mine, generated through ElevenLabs. Different settings, different models, different contexts. That's the point of this first post in the series. Now, let's look at how it was put together. Let's start with the simplest elements, the flashcards and the images with audio play bars. These use Rise's built-in AI audio. To add AI audio to any Rise block, click the audio icon and select AI audio. You'll get access to the full ElevenLabs voice library from here. Search for my voice, my Stephanie, and test it out. Once you've selected a voice, you have 5 settings. Stability. This controls consistency between clips. Lower is more emotional and variable, and higher, above 60%, is more consistent for long-form narration, but could also sound more monotone. Similarity. This controls how closely the output matches the original voice sample. I tend to keep this between 80 and 90%. Setting this to 100% can increase artifacts if the original audio had background noise. Style exaggeration. This adds emotional range. I use a default of 10 usually, and will sometimes increase it for more expressive variation. Speaker boost. I have this on all the time. It enhances presence and clarity of the audio. Speed is straightforward. I keep it at default for most content, but slow it slightly for anything technical or complex to explain.
For the model, you can use Flash version 2.5 for standard narration, but I use multilingual V2 for more expression and multiple language support. This is my go-to model. There is also V3, which is the most expressive narration. This is good for scenario characters, but for some voices, it can dramatically deviate away from the original sound of the voice. Once your settings are in place, generate and listen to the audio. AI-generated voices are now built into Storyline and Rise, but are you using them to their full potential? If it doesn't sound quite right, adjust the settings and generate again. You may need to alter the text too, so that words and sentences flow more naturally and pronunciation is correct. Continue regenerating until you're satisfied. AI-generated voices are now built into Storyline and Rise, but are you using them to their full potential? Then insert the audio into the block. AI-generated voices are now built into Storyline and Rise, but are you using them to their full potential? Note that it can automatically create transcriptions too, and you can always come back later to edit and regenerate the transcription and audio if needed. Now, let's take a look at the same in Storyline. Both Rise and Storyline handle AI audio the same way, using the same voice library, same settings, same models. In this example, I'm on a slide and I'm inserting AI narration based on my cloned voice, just like I did in Rise. It automatically adds captions, and when I preview the slide, I can turn captions on as I play back the audio. AI audio can be used on any slide and layer and be triggered by any number of events and conditions, which is unique to Storyline. Storyline also has access to something Rise doesn't: microphones. And that also changes what's possible when it comes to AI audio interaction. The code blocks in Rise run inside a protected container with restrictions on what they can do. Storyline published on its own doesn't have those same constraints, which is what makes the voice interaction with a chatbot possible. The Storyline file connects to an ElevenLabs conversational AI agent using JavaScript. When the learner speaks, the agent responds in my voice. Same agent as the text chatbot in Rise. Hello, how can I help you today?
Hi, I'm just wondering if you could maybe help me with things to do with Rise code blocks.
Sure. What kind of help do you need with Rise code blocks?
I'd like to know how difficult they are to create.
They're pretty approachable. If you know basic HTML, CSS, and a little JavaScript, you can have a working code block up in under an hour. But a completely different experience because the learner can now speak rather than type and hear rather than read. I won't go deep on the JavaScript setup here. That's covered in a future post, but no special plugins are needed, just JavaScript and an ElevenLabs API connection. Another thing worth noting is that AI sound effects are available in Storyline, not Rise. And that makes sense because you can generate effects to play at specific points, like when a pop-up appears, or anytime the learning experience could benefit from an audio cue. Everything so far has been inside Articulate products. Now, let's go directly into ElevenLabs, because this is where you see what one voice can actually do. This is my voice in the ElevenLabs library, the same voice you've been hearing in this video, the same one available to you inside Rise and Storyline right now. Let's start with text-to-speech. These are the same settings you see in Articulate products. If you generate voices here, you have the advantage of being able to export them as an MP3 track that you can then use in an explainer video in Camtasia, or simply import them into Rise or Storyline if you don't have the Articulate AI subscription. Several features in ElevenLabs don't exist in Articulate products. For example, speech-to-speech. I'll upload a rough recording of myself with specific pacing and emphasis, the way I'd naturally deliver it. ElevenLabs uses that sample to guide the output. This is exactly what I was afraid would happen. No one listens. How is it that I'm the only one who seems to care about getting this right? This is exactly what I was afraid would happen. No one listens.
How is it that I'm the only one who seems to care about getting this right? The result keeps my AI voice, but inherits my delivery. Useful when you need a specific cadence that settings alone won't get you. There's a feature called dubbing, and I use this for the Block-a-Thon lesson, where audio is dynamically played back in English, French, and Spanish.
Voici un aperçu rapide d'Articulate 360.
Here's a quick tour of Articulate 360. Next is voice remixing. This is where it gets interesting. Rather than adjusting sliders, you type a text prompt to create a brand new voice derived from the original. Same base voice, but a completely different character. I'll type something like, "Make this voice sound elderly and tired." Listen to the result. This old body isn't as spry as it once was, but I still enjoy a quiet afternoon. What can I help you with, dear? You can also create a new voice just by typing a prompt. I did this for a recent project where I needed an Indigenous elder's voice for a scenario. Here's the prompt I used. Have a listen.
My kokum, she always said that the land provides for us.
Storyline has sound effects, but not music. With ElevenLabs Music, you can create background tracks for e-learning, unobtrusive, loopable, and professional. ElevenLabs also has video and image generation capabilities that are definitely worth looking into. The avatar in the Block-a-Thon video was generated with a single photo of me in ElevenLabs. The avatar for this post was generated with a video sample of me in HeyGen. Pretty cool stuff. The AI audio I just showed you is available to you in Rise and Storyline if you have an Articulate AI subscription. If you don't have that subscription, you can produce the AI audio directly in ElevenLabs. The chatbot, the multilingual audio sentence builder, the stock ticker, and the AI audio assessment quiz are all using code blocks in Rise. As I mentioned earlier, these are freely available to you in the Rise code block library. I'll go into more detail on how to build code blocks like these in the next post. The ElevenLabs link is below if you want to try ElevenLabs directly. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Until the next post, have fun with using AI audio in Rise and Storyline.